Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the mayor of Grandville, Steve Maas. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. My pleasure. Glad to be here, Laurel.
For folks who are not from the west side of our state, not intimately familiar with Grandville, you are a suburb on the southwest side of Grand Rapids, correct?
Exactly. We're a small suburb of about 15 or 16,000 people along the Grand River, about 10 minutes from downtown Grand Rapids.
And when you're looking for something cool and hip and awesome to do on a Friday or Saturday night, do you stay in Grandville or you head to Grand Rapids?
Well, because of recent developments in Grandville, now you can stay in Grandville and have a lot of fun. But a few years ago, you headed down to Grand Rapids if you really wanted to do something cool.
You've been the mayor for just about a year. You've had some time to settle in. I know you've been a Grandville resident and city councilman a lot longer than that. But how have things changed since you've been in office?
Well, one of the big projects that we did was we redid our downtown area. We had an aging, typical Midwest small town downtown. A lot of development had happened on our south side of our city. We had a super regional shopping mall, Rivertown Crossings, that attracts about, I'm guessing, about 15 million visitors a year. Wow. And Cabela's. And that attracts about 3 million visitors. So we have a lot of people coming in, but everybody leaves at the end of the day. And we started to focus on our downtown area. And what can we do down there for the people who live in the area, for those of us who live in Grandville and stay there? So we had about a $5 million project to redo our downtown. And what it really did that's pretty exciting, in my opinion, makes me want to stay there on a Saturday night, is we've created a venue for people to get together and hang out and do fun activities as families and just as neighbors and friends.
What is it about a community that really keeps people not just hanging out there on a Friday or Saturday night, but staying there, living there beyond high school graduation, after their retirement years, that makes them feel connected and want to stay? That's
exactly it. They need to feel connected. And so I think it's all about building community. Let me give you an example, just an anecdotal example of one thing that I think people are really looking for. I think a lot of times local officials think people are most interested in low taxes, good roads, schools, and all those things are important, but I think what people really want to do is feel part of a community. And as an example, last year, was a brutal, brutal winter. And our police chief came to me and said, we've got 850 fire hydrants that are covered up with piles of snow. And I thought, well, let's get the Boy Scouts to help. I'm just going to go on Facebook. And I wonder if anybody will want to do this, if anybody will want to help. And I was shocked at the overwhelming response. I think people just wanted to help, wanted to be part of the community. So every Saturday and Sunday afternoon for maybe 6 weeks, I and a group of people just went out and shoveled out fire hydrants as a public service kind of an activity. And what it really was, it was a social activity.
Sure.
People I had never
went to breakfast after, didn't you?
We did have a little coffee from time to time or hot cocoa. That's exactly what we did. So just building community, and I was shocked at how many people wanted to do that.
So very quickly, where would you like to take Grandville, Grandville in the next 3 to 5 years?
I'd like to continue on the path that we're already doing, and that is having activities downtown. We've hired an event coordinator just to do things that bring people together, things that don't cost a lot of money. I have 7 children, and one of my oldest has moved out of Grandville. And I said, why did you move out of Grandville? Why do you want to live in an urban area? Because there's a lot of fun things to do. So I think, there's a time in life that's probably really cool. You want to live in an urban setting, and there's microbreweries and arenas and so on. But I think in the long run, people are looking for a sense of community.
All right, and you're looking to provide that. Grandville, I know you called it the small town with the big heart.
That's
Thank you
exactly
so
right.
much for joining us
Thank you very much, Laurel. I appreciate it.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Grandville Mayor Steve Maas.